Here I am in the Mosque of Cordoba in Spain, and it's famous for being a most extraordinarily beautiful mosque. It's also famous that it's now a Catholic cathedral. The Catholics took this place and they turned it into a Roman Catholic cathedral many centuries ago. And I noticed on the way in, they're just building some structures to celebrate the 1700th anniversary of the Council of Nicaea. And this is particularly, in my view, particularly sacrilegious, because this mosque was built as a place to worship the one God, Tawhid. And when the Catholics came in and took it over by force, by violence, they now celebrate the idea that Jesus is God, and they're doing it very ostentatiously here, 1,700 years after the event. So this is the religious wars of Catholicism still continue here at Cordoba Mosque / Cathedral, and you can see the extraordinary. This is very impressive, and it's hard to communicate how impressive it is. Oh, by the way, just behind me, you can see there's building work going on there by the cathedral. They're building a huge platform. One of the places where they will be making a big announcement that Jesus is God, right in the heart of one of the Muslim world's greatest mosques, where the worship of the one God, not three divine beings, was done for many, many centuries, 800 years. Islamic Spain lasted for 8 centuries before the Catholics violently destroyed many mosques, literally destroyed them. A handful they took over because they were so beautiful, as you can see, and converted them into places of Trinitarian worship. And it's interesting about Hagia Sophia in Istanbul. Christians very often complain they want their cathedral back, they want their church back in Istanbul. Well, but they never mention the thousands upon thousands of places just in Spain, let alone in Portugal and other places, that were taken over by the church and destroyed by the Christians, or forcibly converted, like this place, into a place of Trinitarian worship. Do they also support the idea of the Catholic Church giving back to the Muslims their houses of worship, their places of worship? And of course, they never say that. Completely absent from their discourse, and that is very telling. They're not really concerned with justice; they're concerned with just having their churches back. But they disregard all the other places of worship, and are not interested in returning those to their original owners, the Muslims. And Muslims have tried to pray in this mosque and have been arrested by the Spanish police for trying to worship, but just to pray in a mosque. It's still illegal in the free, multicultural, multiracial Spain. So there are limits to the tolerance of this place for freedom of worship. The place is encrusted with Christian symbols, crucifixes, chapels, statues of Mary, of course. One just behind me here, statue of Mary there, and lots of chapels. Seemingly hundreds of them, actually. Wherever you go, there are chapels upon chapels. Now I've just spotted, it's a huge, and this mosque is vast. It's really difficult to show you really how big. And I've just spotted this thing here. So this is to do with Nicaea. This is the celebration. There we go. No, I don't really know Spanish, but it seems to me he's talking about the Council of Nicaea. It's an exhibition from the 5th of April to the 5th of July. You can just about work it out. And is patronized by the Diocese of Cordoba and the Cathedral of Cordoba. So they're celebrating the worship of Jesus in a house of God created for for the worship of the one true God. And Muhammad and Jesus and Moses and all the prophets are the servants and prophets and messengers and slaves of God. So this is a triumphalist, supremacist vision imposed on the house of God by the Catholics, who are still doing it today, celebrating this today, it seems. So, as I say, it's very difficult to communicate the atmosphere, the enormity, the space, the aesthetics, the architecture, the design, the sheer glory of this mosque on video. And it's also very difficult to see where does the mosque end and where does the cathedral begin. And now that's very much, I think, could be wrong, but it strikes me very much as the cathedral. That would be an addition to, and now that bit clearly is the mosque. So it's all been synthesized, merged together in a big higgledy-piggledy melange of styles. But one religion here is triumphant and dominant over another. But that doesn't seem to worry Christians today, who complain about Hagia Sophia but never mention this place. And I was with I met someone here, a Muslim, who says this place, Cordoba Masjid, is more glorious than the Hagia Sophia. He was much more impressed with it, and he's been to both places, as have I. And he says this place, its sheer scale, its sheer beauty and magnificence is more impressive to him, to his opinion, than the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, what used to be called Constantinople. Now that's his judgment, and he could be right. I don't know, but I see what he means. For me, I don't agree, because the styles are so different. It's very difficult to say compare apples and oranges. Compare Hagia Sophia, this great mosque, with this place. It's difficult to compare, in my opinion. But I see what he means. But so to all those Christians who long for Hagia Sophia to be returned to Christian faith, to the Christian faith, even though now it's an incredibly popular house of God where every day, literally, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people pray to God, the God of Abraham. For those who long and complain and argue and accuse the Muslims of many, many centuries having taken that place, do you then also agree that these places, the thousands upon thousands, just in the Iberian Peninsula alone, they should be returned to the Muslim community, the original creators, owners, and inhabitants of these places, as places of worship of the one true God? Do they agree to that? That is my question to those Christians who get upset about the mosque in Istanbul. It's a question I've never heard answered by them. And, so I'd be interested to know what they think about that proposition. Now, I'm not suggesting, by the way, in terms of serious policy anything. It's above my pay grade. This is a question for wise people of scholars and politicians to sort this out. But I can at least raise the question and ask it of those Christians who bitterly complain about Hagia Sophia. What about Cordoba? What about the mosque that I'm standing in? This glorious, glorious structure built to the glory of God. The God of Moses, the God of Jesus, the God of Muhammad. Peace be upon them all. What do they say about this place? So there we are. I could walk around here for hours and seemingly not reach the edges of it. Absolutely, astonishingly vast. We come back to this stand here, which I showed you just 5 minutes ago, and the workmen have been here. And they've just completed that structure, and it looks to me as if it's set up to celebrate the worship of Jesus proclaimed at the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD in Constantinople. And the religious triumphalism and dominance resonates powerfully down the centuries. Even though the church today under Pope Francis is arguably much more liberal, more tolerant than it's ever been in its history, it still nevertheless does these things, celebrates these things in the mosques that they have taken, stolen with violence. And here's the organ playing.
Bienvenido a la mezquita catedral de Córdoba. Está realizando una visita cultural a un templo católico. Por favor, respete el silencio. Muchas gracias.
I have no idea what she said. Oh, there we go.
Keep silence.
She's telling us to keep silence. Anyway, that's probably enough for me. I just wanted to have my little rant. I hope I haven't offended anyone, but I just wanted to ask this question about the restoration of churches or mosques to their original rulers and communities, because this debate is usually very selectively applied. It seems to me anyway. Let me know what you think. Till next time.